friend. You're listening to The Sustainable Bodyworker, the podcast for massage therapists who want to grow thriving, purpose-led businesses without the burnout. Here we talk about nervous system aligned business strategy, pricing that makes sense, client work that doesn't deplete you, and how to build a career that actually supports your life. I'm your host, Gretchen Popp, massage therapist, mentor, educator, and recovering overachiever. Let's get into it. Hey friend, welcome back to the Sustainable Bodyworker. We are back from our seasonal pause in January. I've missed you guys so much. And as you're listening to this, we have been coming off of the Sustainable Self-Care Bingo Challenge, which we were doing during our seasonal pause. And I'm going to be real, I loved it, and it also humbled me because it's one thing to teach sustainable practices for massage therapists, and it's another thing to live it when you are busy, your nervous system is already holding a lot, and you're trying to keep your business moving forward, as well as coming off of the holiday season, and that's why we did it. Now, a quick note before we dive in, Founders pricing for the Sustainable Bodyworker membership is open right now through March 8th. And if this challenge made you think, okay, I need structure, support, and a path, that's exactly what the membership is for. You're not joining a giant library of offerings and courses and strategy and hoping you figure it out on your own. You come in, you work with me one-on-one to pick a track that'll be best for you, and you actually get a plan to follow with proven strategies I've implemented in my business as well as many other practitioners' businesses for sustainable results. So if you want to check that out, the link is in the show notes. Let's get into the episode. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Sustainable Bodyworker podcast. If you're new here, welcome. You picked a really great episode to start with. And if you've been here since season 1, welcome back. I've missed you. We took a little break between seasons, and I just want to say I have been so energized by the messages I've been getting. People telling me that they listen on their commute without fail, that they're binging episodes, that something they heard here shifted something for them, and that is so wild to witness, and I'm so grateful. Season 1 started as a passion project. I had a light bulb moment, decided to start a podcast, started working with Kelsey, who helped me a ton, still does, and I got a lot of yeses from the universe. I was just kind of learning as I went. I had incredible guests show up in season 1. Go check those out if you have not yet. And it just felt like momentum was just kind of happening on its own. And now the platform is expanding, our listener count keeps growing, the message is spreading. I've got guests reaching out whom I've never heard of before and really wonderful to get to know. And it's become really clear to me that this is not just a passion project anymore. This is purposeful. So I want to start season 2 by making something very clear. This podcast is not just about learning new techniques or collecting more skills. It's not just about client cases or the mechanics of how we practice. There are already incredible podcasts that talk about that. I don't need to add to that ocean. What I do need to do is make it loud and clear that we body workers need a different way of doing business in this profession, a way that actually creates sustainability beyond hands-on work. And the truth is, it has never been easier to build that because of the technology we have access to. And throughout this upcoming season, I will be diving deep into the many ways this can be possible for all of the unique practitioners there are. But today's episode is a manifesto. It's me laying out what I believe about this profession, what I believe about burnout, what I believe is keeping talented therapists stuck, and what I believe we can do about it without throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And before I tell you what I stand for, I want to paint a picture because I know you've been here in one way or another too. So picture this. The client cancels. You're staring at the text message, frozen, wondering where you're going to recoup that loss. Or maybe you're mid-session and your body is so tired you want to scream, and you're holding space for everyone else while no one is holding space for you. And in that moment, you feel it in your body, the panic, the resentment, that voice inside that says, I can't keep doing this. That moment isn't something to bypass. I want everyone who has been here to recognize that this is actually very valuable information. And it's not meant to shame you either. It's meant to guide you because those darkest moments, the panic attacks, the I want to scream moments, the moments where your body is begging for rest, those aren't proof you're failing or that you're not good at this or that you need to quit. They're data. They're your signal that something needs to change. And I want to be really clear here because this matters. I'm not interested in spiritual bypassing. I'm not interested in encouraging you to whitewash your pain. I'm not interested in pretending your circumstances aren't real, whether that's chronic illness, being the breadwinner with everything on their shoulders, being a parent, living in a small town, dealing with weather cancellations, whatever it is. We don't bypass the hard parts. We use them as leverage. We use them as the moment where truth becomes impossible to ignore. And I want you to feel permission by the end of this episode. Permission to explore something different without completely giving up body work. Permission to admit you might need support in figuring out what that looks like. Permission to stop trying to fit your life into a business model that doesn't match you. Because I believe something, I don't feel I hear it said enough in this profession, honestly. There is not one right way to build a sustainable career. There is not one proven system you need to follow to do this correctly or to be successful. Your business does not need to look like anyone else's. And you do not need to hit some arbitrary income goal just because someone online told you that's the number you're supposed to want, without doing the math for your actual life. Sustainable means you can sustain it. You specifically. What's sustainable for me is different from what's sustainable for you. And what's sustainable for you might be completely different from what's sustainable for the therapist down the street. And this is why I teach multiple different ways to build stability because there are multiple ways to do it. Some of them can be wildly successful and still not sustainable for the person doing them. So, we're going to talk about how to build a business model that is customized to what you want, what you value, what your nervous system can actually hold, and what gives you your life back. Because here's the truth that I think a lot of body workers are afraid to say out loud. This work is insecure. Snow days can cancel a full day, a full week of work even. A client cancels and your income immediately drops. You get sick, you don't get paid. You slip on the ice and break your wrist, and your career can change overnight. And selling a business that's built around you is incredibly difficult. This is the truth, and it's hard, and it's scary. So, no, I'm not going to ask you to pretend that reality doesn't exist, whatever your circumstance may be. What I am going to do is show you a different way to work with it. And to do that, we have to start by calling out the old stories we've been led to believe, the ones that keep talented, skilled, passionate therapists chained to the table. So next, I'm going to name those stories and I'm going to give you a new set of truths to build from. Because if you're experiencing burnout, it is not a failure on your part. It is a distress signal. And if you're panicking, that's information. Hey friend, real quick, I'm interrupting this episode to share something that's made a huge difference in my health and my ability to actually rest, which is kind of the foundation for everything we talk about here. Now, you've heard my story, and you probably know that I used to be a chronic insomniac. Like, my eyes were super tired, brain totally wired, body aching all the time, just laying there for hours wide awake, even though I was completely exhausted. And even when I did fall asleep, I'd wake up with that classic cortisol spike at 3 a.m. and couldn't fall back to sleep again. I honestly just thought that was how my body worked. But everything changed when I started using Swanwick blue light blocking glasses. I was in a program that emphasized 3 pillars of health, and sleep was one of those non-negotiables. And once I understood what blue light was doing to my nervous system and circadian rhythm, it made so much sense. So here's the science real quick. Blue light, especially from screens and overhead lighting, suppresses melatonin production. And it doesn't take much. Even small amounts of exposure after sunset can delay the release of melatonin by hours, making it so much harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. But that's just the beginning. That same disruption also affects your cortisol rhythm, your ability to regulate inflammation, your blood sugar, your digestion, and even your tissue repair. Now, you're a body worker, so you know sleep is when the real healing happens for you and your clients. So now I wear my Swanwick glasses every night starting at around 5 p.m., especially if I'm leading a Zoom call or working late, and the difference is wild. I fall asleep within 30 minutes of starting to read in bed, I sleep so much deeper, and I wake up with a lot less pain. And most importantly, I feel like me again. And just to take it a step further, I even swapped my bathroom light bulbs to their amber-toned bulbs so that my evening routine doesn't confuse my body into thinking it's midday. This is one of the easiest, most effective upgrades I've made to my nervous system regulation and overall healing. It's super low effort, high reward. Honestly, it kind of feels like cheating. So if you're someone who struggles with winding down or you find yourself wired at night even though you're bone tired, give these a try. There's a link in the show notes to grab your own pair. Okay, back to the episode. All right, let's name the thing that's actually running the show for a lot of massage therapists. Because when I say burnout is information, I'm not just talking about exhaustion. I'm talking about the fact that many of us are building our business inside a set of old stories we've been led to believe, and those stories keep us trapped. So I'm going to call out a few of them, not to shame you, but so you can finally see what you are swimming in. Here's the stories. If you're not hands-on, you're not really working. A full schedule means you've made it. You have to choose between making good money and not burning out. You can't have both. Real body workers work through the pain. If you truly cared about people, you'd remain affordable. Taking time off means losing momentum and clients will forget about you. And if any of those hit you in the gut, there's additional information and we can use it. And I think part of what makes this so confusing right now is that online, as a business owner, it feels like you're being asked to choose between two extremes. On one side, you've got the marketing gurus selling the newest client generation machine or six-figure blueprint like it's one size fits all. On the other side, you've got the super woo-woo tap into your energy and the magic will unfold crowd. And what I don't see enough of is the blend. Because the needle moves when we blend the two. When we tap into what matters to you, what you actually want, what you actually value, and we move forward with actionable strategy customized to you, that's when change becomes possible. And yeah, it might take a while, but that's okay because get rich quick is not sustainable anyway. Think about a baby learning how to walk. They fall 1,000 times. They get pissed, they cry, and they still don't quit, even without proof of a guaranteed result. And I want us to embody that. We don't need perfection. We need consistency and a structure that makes consistency actually doable. Now, I want to talk about what I'm specifically pushing back against with this manifesto, because I don't want to be subtle about this. I'm pushing back against the arbitrary six-figure promise that doesn't include the math of your actual life. I'm pushing back against coupon marketing that attracts non-ideal clients and trains people to believe massage is something you discount. I'm pushing back against hustle culture in general. I'm pushing back against business coaching that teaches people to misclassify independent contractors and make money off of taking advantage of practitioners. And I'm also pushing back against systems taught by people who have never managed chronic pain or illness, never been a parent, or have had to be the breadwinner. They just don't understand the additional load of those situations and can't adapt their systems to fit those circumstances. And frankly, the capitalistic business model we are all urged to fit into does something specific to people in caregiving roles like ours. It teaches us that our value only exists when we are producing, when we're one-on-one with clients, when we're giving. And then it teaches us that rest is lazy and asking for support is weakness and charging well is selfish. And we start building our entire life around being needed while slowly disappearing from our own life. So let me say this clearly. The profession has taught us to accept some things as normal that are not normal. It is not normal that so many of us believe we have to have a fully booked practice to be successful. It is not normal that so many of us push through our own pain just to help our clients live pain-free. It's not normal that we don't have enough time between sessions to eat real food, pee, breathe, and reset adequately for the next client. And it's definitely not normal that we've made it just part of the job to feel anxious about cancellations and weather changes and injury, as if that's just what you signed up for. And I want to name the thing I hear constantly. I hear so many people say this. I know what to do, I just can't get myself to do it. People know they need to raise prices, they know they need better boundaries, they know they need to stop overbooking themselves, they know they want to build something online or hire help or change their schedule and make it work better for them. They know, you know. but they sabotage every attempt, or they freeze mid project, or they start 10 projects, get overwhelmed, and finish none. And then they default to believing it's because they're lazy or not good enough or not disciplined enough. No, when you know what to do but can't get yourself to do it, that's actually a biological response. So let's look at what's happening here. When you're under stress, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that plans, prioritizes, and makes aligned decisions, goes offline. So when you're operating from a stressed or triggered place, you could have the best intentions in the world and still not have access to your best thinking or judging brain. And if you don't even know what your values are, you haven't taken the time to get clear on those yet, regardless of if you're stressed out or not, you're going to be making decisions in a fog based on fear, based on other people's opinions and the loudest voices on the internet. So, of course, you feel stuck. I like to explain belief patterns as a water slide. So, if you have a long held belief like, I'm not good enough, I'm not ready, who would want to learn from me, I need more certifications first. The second you step into that thought, you're gone, whoosh, right back into the same spiral. So, we don't fix this by yelling at ourselves. We fix it by building a new pathway, and that takes constant, intentional repetition. It takes prompting yourself repeatedly. It takes small actions that your subconscious mind can actually tolerate, because your subconscious mind doesn't want to do the big thing. It's proven to you by not letting you do it in the first place. So we need to go undercover, so to speak, with the little versions of improvement instead. And this is why I'm very specific about mindset work. This is not about putting on a happy face. It's not bypassing. It's not staring at a vision board and hoping the universe does all the work for you. It's a process of changing what your brain expects and what your body believes is safe. And that's why hypnotherapy is one of the tools I use inside the membership, because it gives your brain an experience. Your brain doesn't fully know the difference between something that's happening in real life and something vividly imagined. Your body responds to the imagination as though you're actually experiencing it. For example, close your eyes for a second if it's safe to do so, and imagine slicing into a fresh, juicy lemon. That's right, slice into it. You smell that freshness, right? And imagine biting into that juicy, lemony interior. You remember what a fresh lemon tastes like. And now your mouth is likely salivating. That's how powerful even just a simple suggestion is. Your body responds as though it's happening. This is why I am so careful about what I read and watch on TV. The body responds whether we consciously know it's real or not. So, in contrast, when we visualize ourselves succeeding at something we have resistance around, it creates positive evidence. It creates a sense of safety around doing that thing you were previously afraid of. It creates a new internal script so that in real life, you can move through fear instead of getting hijacked by it. And this is also why tiny habits matter. They're not cute. It's not just for fun. They work because they're doable. They create tiny wins, and that is so important to install. Tiny wins rebuild self-trust. Tiny wins tell your subconscious mind, we can do this without collapsing. This is safe. And those tiny steps stack into a completely different life after some time. Now, I want to give you the framework that I anchor everything to. I believe in a few keystones you can build your sustainable system around, 4 of them in particular. The first one being purpose and meaning. Your business should fuel who you are. It should reflect what you actually care about. And when your work is connected to something you value, your sessions feel different. You feel different. Your energy that you show up with changes. Your ability to move past the resistance into offering bigger things, maybe an online course or becoming a leader with hiring a team, becomes so much easier because it means something bigger than you. Your why is not extra, it becomes fuel. The next keystone is freedom generating revenue. This isn't because you're greedy or miserly. It's because it's irresponsible in 2026 to build a massage business with zero financial padding. Technology empowers us to do something totally different that has never been accessible before. This can be affiliate revenue, a tiny online course, a big online course, a resource library for other practitioners, a client-facing program, or a CE class. or even teaching a business model for other therapists to benefit from. The possibilities are endless. The point is, your income can not only exist when your hands are on people. That's not a business, that's a liability. The third keystone is nervous system capacity, because you can't strategy your way out of a dysregulated body. We build sustainability with actions that your system can actually hold. This is why I love super accessible regulation tools, things you can do in real life between clients without needing a 45-minute routine. A VU breath, an audible sigh, a power pose. All of these I've spoken about in various capacities before. You don't need more discipline. You need your body to feel safe enough to follow through. And if you happen to have a little more time, hypnotherapy, like the super accessible and customized to massage therapy hypnotherapy tracks that are available in the membership, are something that make an even bigger impact as well. And the fourth keystone is community. Simply put, the human race did not evolve to be as isolated as massage therapists tend to be. We need community to survive. Being without community sends a chronic distress signal to your nervous system. And this is not about your client list or your social media following. You need support and momentum from people who get it, because it's not about being validated or having a place to vent or not being lonely. Being in a community of people who are growing their practice in unconventional ways, like a purpose-driven practitioner often does, seeing other people succeed and doing the thing alongside you changes what your subconscious believes is possible. It gives you evidence, it gives you accountability and motivation, and it gives you a place to be held so you can stop white-knuckling everything by yourself. So let me tell you what I stand for clearly. I believe body workers deserve to earn the amount of money that supports the life they actually want without panic every time a client cancels, without fear every time there's severe weather, without the constant insecurity of what if something happens to my body. I refuse to normalize chronic illness in this profession. I refuse to normalize pain as just part of the job or for burnout to be just expected eventually. This profession does not need more burned out therapists working on as many clients as possible. It needs practitioners working the perfect amount for them, with space to rest, space to live, and space to share their wisdom in ways that create stability and freedom, not just for them, but for the next practitioner they are able to inspire. So next, we are going to get practical. I'm going to give you tiny actions you can take this week, real ones that start creating momentum without asking you to overhaul your entire business. Because you don't need to add 10 things or an entirely new system. You need one thing done consistently.
Hey friend, quick pause in the episode because I have to share something that's made a huge impact on both my practice and the work I teach inside my courses. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably remember the teal cups I started out with. Those were iconic in my early days of teaching cupping therapy. But here's the thing I learned the hard way. Not all silicone cups are created equal. I started noticing huge inconsistencies between sets. Cups that discolored fast, sharp edges that irritated my client's skin, and it just wasn't cutting it for the level of work I was doing. And in 2020, I found Global Cupping, and I've never looked back. Their cups are hands down the clearest, smoothest, and most consistent silicone cups I've ever used, and I've tried a ton. The difference in quality is immediately noticeable. These cups stay clear even after repeated disinfection, and they're built to stand up to high-level sanitation protocols, something I insist on teaching in my neuromuscular cupping therapy trainings. What I also love is the customizability. I can mix and match sizes in a set, no more stockpiling a bunch of cups I never use, and their silicone facial cups are my absolute go-to now for jaw work. No more rubber bulbs on the glass cups to worry about disintegrating, just easy to clean, durable tools that are comfortable for both the client and the therapist. In my own approach, I combine cupping with movement, massage, and retraining at the neuromuscular junction. And that means I need cups that can move with the body, grip well, and feel safe and smooth on sensitive tissue. These silicone cups, especially the 55 hardness to start with, are perfect for that. And for chronic pain clients, especially those with nervous system dysregulation, the ability to glide, pause, and work in dynamic ways is key to breaking pain cycles. Plus, their customer service, impeccable. I'm a stickler for this. I've had questions, students have had questions, and they're always quick, professional, and just genuinely kind. It makes a really big difference. So whether you're brand new to cupping or you're refining your technique, this is the gear I recommend. It's an investment in your practice that pays off in results, ease of use, and your client's comfort. Use code NEURO at checkout for 20% off your first order at globalcupping.com. All right, let's get back to the episode.
All right, let's make this real. Because I don't want you to finish this episode feeling fired up and then go right back into the same exact routine. I want you to leave with momentum, and not the kind of momentum that requires you to reinvent your entire business in one weekend. I mean tiny shifts, ones you can sustain, which will sustain you. So I'm going to give you 3 actions you can take this week, just 3. And if you just pick one, that's fine. That's actually encouraged. Then I'll give you a bonus one because you're not meant to do this alone. So the first one is what I call the highlighter audit. If you do nothing else after this episode, I'd suggest you do this one. Print out your full client list, everybody currently on your books, and if you can, everyone you've seen in the last 3 to 6 months. Gather 3 highlighters as well, green, yellow, and red. Then look at each name one by one and pay attention to what comes up in your body. Because your body will tell you the truth faster than your brain will. You're going to sort them into 3 categories. There are the clients you genuinely love working with. You feel good after their session. You'd work with them even if you were tired because the exchange feels clean. Those you get to highlight green. Then there's the clients that are totally fine, neutral, no big feelings either way. Those are your yellows. And then there's the reds. And I want to say this carefully because red doesn't always mean they're a bad person. Red might mean they constantly reschedule and your nervous system never settles. You never know if they're going to keep their appointment. Red might mean they push your boundaries in one way or another. And yes, it can be the tiniest thing that just makes you go, every time. Red might mean your stomach drops when you see their name. Red might mean you secretly hope they cancel. Red might mean you leave every session feeling depleted and drained, even if they're the most lovely person in the world. And I'm saying all of this with love because I have been here too with so many people. But you have to stop normalizing red clients as just part of the business. They're not part of business. They're part of the signal. So your action for this week is simple. Identify your reds and start making a plan to discontinue working with them. Not in a dramatic way. Don't call all of them and tell them they're fired, right? This isn't an overnight thing. Just make the plan. One step. Because if you remove even just one red client from your calendar, you're not just creating time, you're creating space. And space is where sustainability starts. The second action is do the math for your actual life. Not 6 figures, not what the internet says you should want, not what the massage forums tell you is reasonable, and not just better than last year. Math for your actual life. Your ideal life, actually. I want you to sit down and ask yourself, what do I actually need after taxes to live the way I want to live? So this is not just paying bills and scraping by. I mean, do you want support in your home like a house cleaner? Do you want childcare that actually makes life easier? Do you want a savings account with a certain amount in it? Do you want to start maximizing retirement savings? Do you want to travel regularly, invest, whatever it is, write it down, get your nails done all the time, price it out. What does 1 month of your ideal, fantastical life actually cost? And then I want you to ask a second question that most body workers never ask honestly. How many hands-on hours per week can my body actually sustain for decades? Not for the next month, not what you've been doing, not what you should be able to handle. What is actually sustainable for your body for the long haul? What feels good? And then do the math. That amount of sessions per month needs to add up to your ideal monthly income. Because when you do that, you're going to see something very clearly. Either your current pricing doesn't match your ideal life, or your current business model doesn't match your ideal life. And if you feel activated when you look at that number, what your actual ideal life really costs, if you feel panic, resistance, anger, grief, good. That's more information for you. It's showing you the truth so that you can build something different. The third action is the smallest one, but it might be the most powerful. Name the signal in real time. The next time you feel that moment, the panic when you look at your calendar, the resentment in session, the exhaustion where you want to scream, the dread when someone cancels, I want you to stop for 2 seconds and say this. This is information. Or even simpler, this is my signal. That's it. Not what's wrong with me, not I should be grateful, not I'm being dramatic, not I need to push through or panic mode, call all my clients to get this session booked as quickly as possibly. Just signal. Because when you name it, you stop making it mean something else. And instead, you start treating it like data. And data is usable, actionable. Data is how you build a sustainable business without bypassing your reality. Now, here's the bonus. And I'm making this a bonus one because I know how bodyworkers are. We try to do everything alone. We try to white knuckle it. We try to figure it all out and then pretend we're totally fine when we're actually about to throw our laptop out of the window. So here's the fourth thing, and honestly, it might be one that changes everything for you. Don't do this alone. Even if it's as simple as sharing this episode with one bodyworker you care about, or text them one line that hit you. Post it on your story or bring it up with a coworker, because the movement grows one tiny choice at a time. And because you're not meant to be the only one holding space for everybody while no one holds space for you. All right, before I wrap this up, I want you to hear me clearly. If this episode hit you, if you felt that, oh my God, yes, in your body, that's not just inspiration, that's your signal. And you don't have to do this alone anymore. If you want actual structure, actual momentum, and actual support, this is exactly why I built the Sustainable Bodyworker membership. Not as another program you buy and then never use, but as a place you can come plug into when you are tired, when you're stuck, when you're spiraling, when you know what you need to do and you just can't get yourself to do it. Inside the membership, you get the tools and the strategy, the nervous system support, the community, and the accountability, all in one place. So you're not piecing together your sustainability from random podcast episodes or Instagram posts while you're already burnt out. And right now, we're offering founders pricing. That means this is the most affordable it will ever be. Founders pricing is available until March 8th, and if you join now, you lock in that rate while you're a member. So if you've been wanting to try it, if you've been thinking maybe someday, this is the lowest risk moment to jump in, get supported, and see if it actually works for you. And I'm doing something super special for everyone who joins during Founders Pricing. In mid-March, we're doing a 90-day framework workshop, and it's specifically designed to help you map out the next 3 months in a way that's actually sustainable. Not to do more, not to hustle harder, but a real plan that fits your values, your capacity, and the life you're trying to build. And here's the part I'm most excited about because it changes everything and really makes this membership stand out. As soon as you join, you'll be able to book a one-on-one call with me so we can look at where you are right now and figure out your best first steps. Not the internet's first steps, not some generic blueprint, your first steps. So you don't waste your energy, so you don't get overwhelmed, so you actually leave that call knowing, okay, this is what I'm doing next. So if you've been waiting for support that actually understands this profession, the physical load, the emotional load, the cancellations, the lack of benefits, the weird financial insecurity that comes with being a body worker, this is that space. And if you join and it's not your thing, that's okay. We don't have any long-term commitments. But if you're feeling that signal right now, I don't want you to ignore it. Because ignoring it is what leads to the same exact cycle to repeat. So if you want in, the link is in the show notes. Founders pricing is open until March 8th. Join us, book your one-on-one call, and we will build your next 90 days in a way that your body can actually sustain. I also want to be really clear. You don't have to join my membership to be a part of the Sustainable Bodyworker movement. If you're broke, exhausted, and cynical right now, then the movement might look like you just keep listening. Let this podcast be a support. Let it remind you you're not crazy. Let it give you language for what you've been feeling. And if and when you're ready for more structure and accountability and community, you'll know. All right, I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to The Sustainable Bodyworker. If something resonated for you today, grab your free breakthrough session, which includes a custom hypnotherapy track to help you unlock the next level. Grab it now with the link in the show notes. And to hear more, hit subscribe. We'll see you next time.